Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, January 12th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. The CPI and initial jobless claims data has come and gone here this morning, and the market so far with a strong low and a subsequent rotation back toward the highs. Initially, a strong high developed. And we have ourselves a fairly decent sized range here on that initial move, the impulse low and the impulse high. As it is right now at the finish of the hour here, we have an upward bias that has developed and a very good transition back above 39.20 after developing the narrow range here. Ultimately, we've seen this thing break higher, and we've now seen price trade above the 200-day moving average and above the previous month's midpoint. Those two levels are going to be very important to continue to watch. If for some reason price closes back below those levels later today, we could be looking at a rejection that leads us back down toward the previous month's low. But as of right now, to push and hold beyond those levels and to close the day above these levels would suggest a push to the other extreme of the prior month, which would take us to the previous month's high with the FOMC key level at 40.85 as a midpoint target. So the previous month's midpoint is going to be very important here. That level is about 39.80. We have the 200-day moving average, which is about the same, 38.90 or so. And again, if price can close beyond those levels today, that would suggest more strength to the upside as price approaches 40.85 and the upper end of the previous month's range. So that's going to be an important level to continue to watch the rest of the day. For the NQ here, you're seeing a similar strength here. Early sell-off on a strong pivot top in the minutes following CPI release here, and then a very strong low and a subsequent rally to new highs. That's already a bullish check mark trend day here to the upside, but more upside could be seen. Again, very similar levels to the ES here, testing the previous month's midpoint right here, 11.565 or so, and through that level to close well beyond it today would suggest a continuation to the upper half of last month's range, which could take us back toward these highs at around 12.350. So we could be looking at much more strength ahead if price can successfully push through this midpoint by the end of the day. Again, a failure or a rejection of this level would open up a push back toward the previous month's lows. As of right now, bulls right now looking to take control through the previous month's midpoint. Taking a look at crude oil. Crude oil right now up 1.6% at the moment. Prior session here found a way to push through recent highs and hold back above those levels, and now a bit more strength up within the previous range is being seen. We could be seeing a rotation all the way back to break even on the year, 80-50, 51, 80-50, right in that zone. But we still have a downward trend here. So while price is currently trading up within this trading range here, we could see a move that takes us back toward 82, maybe as high as 84, but can price push beyond that? As of right now, it's been within this range. Even if we flow higher, we could be looking at another flow right back down, especially given the overall downtrend that we've been seeing. Now, if we take a look here at gold futures, gold up 1.2% right now. Very bullish move. Yesterday, a decent strong top was developing. Price rotated back down but bounced late in the day. It looked as though this market was going to find a way to pull back into the PIMA trigger zone yet again for another rotation to 1900. That was the idea yesterday, and we could be looking at 1900 ahead, but we thought at first a move back toward 1850 could be seen to maximize that move. Didn't quite get that low. Instead, yesterday, getting into the 1860s or 1870 or so, but for the most part already at 1900. A big continuation to the upside. Again, this market continues to demonstrate the most bullish trend that we've seen in a long while out of the futures markets, and is now pushed well beyond the 1830 previous year's close. That's two prior years in a row at 1830, pushing to the upside. 1900 to push beyond 1900 and find acceptance beyond 1900 would open up the 1900 to 2000 range for trading up above. So that's going to be the key level to watch here up ahead. Lastly, looking at the YM. YM right now up about 0.5% right now. Again, the pullback here was defended. You see a nice continuation to the upside. That defense also came off the previous week's high price. So price bouncing off the previous week's high here on this low and pushing forward to the upside. This is also the previous month's midpoint. So to find acceptance through the mid, again, opens up the previous high. That's going to be 35,228. Right now we're at 34,260. So there's about a plus 1,000 that could be ahead to this upside if price can continue to hold above the midpoint of the previous month. Failure at that midpoint or failure to find acceptance above that mid, again, puts you back down toward the previous month's low. So right now, these markets finding some strength through the prior midpoint and could see further strength toward the previous highs in the best case scenario. But where do we end the day? Do we end it above that level or below it? That's going to be the key thing to keep an eye on. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.